From the stomach of the big monster that almost ate the Millennium Falcon in The Empire Strikes Back, it's the IGN Digigods. So please welcome two men who pity the fool, Wade Major and Mark Kaiser.
And because Mark's not wearing his headphones, he didn't hear the intro. So you can't answer the question as to why we don't actually have a listener to whom to attribute that intro. Because you wrote it.
Oh, I wrote it.
Yeah, you wrote it.
In that case, it was damn funny.
That's beautiful. Mark, I understand that you have an issue with how pull quotes are being used in the promotion of a certain DVD. Would you care to share that with us?
Well, I would, Wade, and maybe you can elaborate on this, or maybe you can tell me what the deal is. So I'm flipping through a home video magazine, and there's an ad for a movie called Eyes Wide Open.
Yes.
And there's a pull quote in the ad. I don't know if it's in the if it's on the DVD box. Don't have the DVD. I just have the ad.
Yeah.
And the pull quote is "fascinates." An evocative, powerful, coming out in religion story. It's basically about two gay yeshiva students.
Yeah.
Fascinates. An evocative, powerful, coming out in religion story. Box Office Magazine.
Uh-huh.
Interesting. They got a pull quote from Box Office Magazine. Fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah.
Except for one thing.
What?
I reviewed Eyes Wide Open for Box Office Magazine, and I didn't write that.
Wow.
So I don't know. Although I gave the film a positive review, I liked it. I didn't write that, so I don't know where they got that quote from.
It's interesting. You know, I have to say, a little bit of a little glimpse behind the curtains for our listeners. It often does happen that we are solicited for quotes by publicists, by distributors, who will call you up or they'll send you an email saying, oh my gosh, we have this little movie. Could you take a look at it and maybe give us a nice quote to use for the box? And most of the time we say, I might hate it, so do you really want to do that? But occasionally it's like, oh yeah, I saw it. I saw it and I liked it. I'd be happy to help you out with something. And we'll give them a quote, but then the attribution for the quote winds up being either the outlet or us through the outlet, when in fact somebody else entirely reviewed it. So you do get that very often. It's a weird. We've talked about it here too when Pete Hammond was quoted in one of your.
That is true. A movie that I reviewed for Box Office, Pete Hammond got a quote from Box Office. Now, what's possible, of course, is that Pete Hammond likes a lot of movies. Let's say, and publicists and distributors and publicists know that Pete Hammond likes a lot of movies. So if you need a positive quote about your movie, you go to the guy who likes a lot of movies.
True.
And Pete Hammond writes for Box Office Magazine.
Yes.
So if Pete Hammond
is a colleague of ours.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact is that Box Office Magazine Box Office will acquiesce to this because they want the name Box Office Magazine on a DVD box.
Of course.
So the fact is that I don't know why we're getting into this because nobody really cares.
Nobody cares.
But I did find it interesting that a movie that I reviewed, and reviewed positively, by the way, the DVD has a pull quote that I didn't write.
Let's pick our winners from last week.
What?
Last week we had a giveaway, and we got another one this week. Fox is being so good to us. We love them.
I want to.
We're gonna give away 3 Blu-rays of Last of the Mohicans right now. We're gonna give them away, and Mark's gonna pick.
These are the pieces of paper. Wait, you've done a much better job in writing the names down and folding them into paper. Look
well, I just printed out the email.
I'm going to throw them down, and I'm going to pick this one.
Okay.
This is fun. I wish we could do this every week. Oh, I saw what you printed out their emails.
Yes, I did.
I made it easy. Richmond Easman.
Awesome.
Last of the Mohicans. He is from Anaheim, California, that Richmond Easman. Congratulations. Cool. I will then pick this one. This one, we really went to town on this.
I did.
Looks like Nathan Craig.
Awesome. Nathan, congratulations.
Nathan Craig. By the way, Nathan Craig, please email us your address.
Okay.
Because otherwise, Nathan, you will not be getting your DVD or your Blu-ray. And leastly but not lastly, we have Paul Higginbotham.
Awesome.
Paul Higginbotham.
Lovely.
Does Paul Higginbotham live in Gotham?
I don't know.
Hang on a second.
Awesome.
Wait a second. Paul Higginbotham wrote us something.
Mm-hmm.
There once was a young man, Mohican, and at a white girl he was peekin'. But Magua said die, so he fell through the sky. And a hero for the sequel they're seeking.
That's pretty good.
Not bad.
Not
Paul
bad at
Higginbotham from West Virginia.
Paul went above and beyond.
Look at that.
West Virginia.
Mountain Mama.
Yeah.
Take me home, country road.
We
Congrats,
like that.
guys, and we're glad that we had something good to give you. The actual Blu-ray of like an actual classic, modern classic movie.
Well, we got another one.
What?
This week we're going to be giving away 3 DVDs, not Blu-rays, but 3 DVDs of Predators.
Ooh, that's a good one.
It is a good one.
I like Predators.
Yeah,
I do like Predators.
3 DVDs of
Wait a
Predators.
minute, I want one. I don't know if I do. Yeah, you know what? I want one.
You want one?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you'll get the one that we're reviewing.
Yay!
Predators. Here's what you do: send us an email to gods@digigods.com with Predators in the subject line. Predators. No Predators with a Z or any weird spellings. Just give us Predators. Just PREDATORS. And include your address in the body of the email. And we will take the receipt of them between any day, Wednesday or Thursday of this week, as long as we get the email by midnight Thursday. We will
Thursday, what day?
Oh,
You see, it could be a Thursday that's already passed, a Thursday that's in the future.
It's going to be. We have to receive the emails on the 20th or the 21st Pacific time. So on those actual days, 20th and 21st. And we'll do our drawing next week, and we'll give away 3 Predators.
Can I say the names? Because it's fun.
Yes.
Thanks, Uncle Wade.
It is fun doing the drawing, isn't it? It's better than what we've done in the past. I want to read a couple of emails, too, by the way. We've got a bunch of interesting emails. You can always email us at gods@digigods.com. Check out the Facebook page. Check out Stupid for Movies at stupidformovies.com or youtube.com/stupidformovies. Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Pacific time. Our good friend Nicholas Gordon writes and says, Dear Wade and Mark, just wondering, what's the deal with the Blu-ray release of the A-Team? All of the big popcorn movies that came out during the summer are either out or have release dates except this one. Mark, where is it? Where's the A-Team?
Where is it?
Yeah.
I don't know. In my pants?
It's kind of weird, though, isn't it? I mean, he's right.
Well, but don't forget, too, is that, the A-Team is... the A-Team DVD is competing with all the films that beat it when it was released theatrically.
That's what I emailed him back. I think what they want to do is they want to sort of... They realize that the movie kind of clunked during the summer, and they want to own whatever week it gets released on. So they probably figure if they release that movie in January or February, then they'll probably do better numbers. I'm sure somebody ran a spreadsheet on it. And then Jason Lair says, I bought the Thin Red Line Blu-ray as you recommended, and it is recommended, and it is excellent. In the liner notes, it describes the process used to clean up the print and transfer the film. Do you have a rough idea of the difference in cost between a good transfer with cleaned-up elements and a cranked-out POS that they just gave to a monkey? Also, what percentage of the box office gross, video on demand, and DVD/Blu-ray sales actually goes to the studio? How much gross does a company need to make on, say, a $100 million film to recoup costs on ticket sales alone? Thanks, and keep up the great work on IGN and Streamin' Garage. That question could take up a whole show to answer. But basically, I sent him an email back, and I said, a lot of the percentages on those things, nobody knows. They differ, and certainly when in theatrical release, the percentage is higher for the studio on opening weekends, and then it, shifts. It's a sliding scale that defaults to exhibitors as it goes along its run. But generally speaking, a movie needs to recoup 4.5 times its negative cost.
It used to be less than that.
It used to be less, but that's given how much marketing is now, and then the fact that a lot of these are debt financed, and you factor in the debt, and then you factor in percentages that all the piece of the pie that is taken out by all the different participants. 4.5 is pretty much the equation now, which is ridiculous. Because if you make a movie you think Avatar, $300 million, yeah, okay, 4.5, it made it back, but geez, that's a big hole to dig yourself.
Well, and it's true because and nowadays, we're sort of beyond the $20 million Jim Carrey, Tom Cruise paydays that they used to give away.
Well, the
routinely.
movies are getting cheaper. They're the average studio film now. 10 years ago, it was $65 million. Today, it's $40. That's incredible. But the marketing costs have gone up, so they're still spending the same amount. It's weird. Anyway. All right, moving on. Let's talk about DVDs.
We're here to talk about DVDs?
And Blu-rays.
Interesting.
Yes. We're going to start off by talking about the 50th anniversary Blu-ray edition of Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, which is a film I was not expecting to see on Blu-ray this soon, I got to be honest. But Universal has gone ahead and they have given us a beautiful, wonderful, fabulous black and white Psycho, which includes a whole bunch of cool bonus features, including a Saul Bass storyboard bit on the shower scene, and newsreel footage, and then excerpts from Hitchcock Truffaut, the interviews, and a lot of other really, really cool little featurette deals, posters. It's a nice little cornucopia of psychophilia. And then there... What?
And then there's Maud?
Psychophilia.
That's good.
You like that?
I do.
There's also a commentary by a guy named Stephen Rebello, who wrote a book on the making of Psycho, which it's okay. It's not brilliant, but it's great enough to pass muster. And then we have, hang on, we're psychoing out here. Then we have the Psycho Legacy, which is a really, really cool retrospective of the whole Psycho phenomenon. Now, this comes from Shout Factory, but it was made by some other people, and they're just releasing it. So it's fine. I expected a little bit more, I got to be honest, but it's perfectly acceptable. It seems like a lot of material that's not extremely terribly well organized, but it is perfectly acceptable. You get some, it's like this is the ultimate disc of extras. But I don't know that. I think this stuff should have been on the Blu-ray as extras.
I agree. But however, now they get to charge you
tons of
twice for Psycho stuff. There's actually, I saw a clip. There's a very interesting story in the Psycho Legacy DVD.
There's a couple of interesting stories.
It
just should have been extras on the Blu-ray as opposed to its own standalone. But there's some good stuff there.
The clip that I saw, Anthony Perkins, you're putting that Psycho away, aren't you?
Just for now.
No fun. Anthony Perkins talks about the only good moment from Psycho 2.
Yeah.
Not only the only good moment from Psycho 2, but the only good word that was spoken in Psycho 2.
Yeah.
Cutlery. Remember how he says the word cutlery?
Yeah.
There was a scene in the kitchen where somebody references a knife. And so, because Norman Bates has quite a history with knives, when he says the word cutlery, he stumbles over it. And it was a great moment in the film. And
I remember that.
And
whatever happened to Richard Franklin?
I don't know. But Tony Perkins tells a story about how he wound up reading that word that way. And it's an interesting story only because it's literally the only memorable thing about Psycho 2 is the way that Tony Perkins read that line. And there's a story about that on Psycho Legacy.
Oh, my gosh, he died. Richard Franklin died.
Well, most people do, Wade.
At age 58, 3 years ago.
Really?
I didn't even know that.
What else did he direct?
Oh, freaking a lot of great movies. I mean, Psycho 2, Cloak and Dagger.
With Dabney Coleman.
You remember that? That was a terrific movie. He did FX2. A lot of really cool horror films early on in Australia, in his native Australia. No, a lot of... Wow. He died. That kind of freaks me out a little bit. Okay, he also did Patrick. You ever see that creepy film?
It was the Patrick Stewart story.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, and then we also have this is helping out Corey Feldman's boat payments. It's Lost Boys: The Thirst.
No. This is not helping Corey Feldman's boat. This is putting food on his table. This is helping him pay his rent, not his mortgage, his rent.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Probably true. I actually have a really funny Corey Feldman story, but I can't really tell it because it's sort of sad. And secondhand. Not really secondhand. It's like half-hand. Okay. Well, as you might imagine, this is Lost Boys. This is from Warner Premiere, which is their direct-to-DVD line. And it's, a desperate attempt to keep the Lost Boys saga going and using Corey Feldman as kind of the lone linkage, the lone thread that justifies calling it a Lost Boys movie. Boy, it's really, really weak. I got to tell you, more of this Corey Feldman vampire stuff, and now that vampire movies have sort of moved beyond, now that we sort of have Let Me In on the one hand and Twilight on the other, and then all these other knockoffs in the middle. This just feels like old hat.
Well, it was so funny hearing Corey Feldman talk about how this one's different because you'll find out what happened to the Frog Brothers.
Yeah, whatever.
Who cares? Who are nobody cares what happened to the Frog Brothers?
As if anybody remembers.
Exactly.
No,
this is terrible. You know what? He's got to put food on the table. Wait, food on the table.
Food on the table. Blu-ray of Callous Forever is another unexpected Blu-ray. This is a Franco Zeffirelli film that's about Maria Callas, starring Fanny Ardant and Jeremy Irons. I saw this. Joan Plowright's in this, too. I saw this at the American Film Market years ago, and it's a lovely film, and it got a nothing release, and here it is suddenly showing up on Blu-ray. So bravo a little bit for Image for getting this out there. It is a really good film. It's a nice film to sort of discover. Maria Callas, of course, is sort of the original diva because she was literally a diva. When we call all these pop singers today divas, no. You got to be an opera singer to be a real diva. And boy, was she a diva. Fanny Ardant, the great French actress, does a beautiful job as Maria Callas. And probably the last good thing that Jeremy Irons did before he started being a parody of himself, got to tell you. But it's quite good, and Zeffirelli hasn't made... Has he made anything since? I think this may be the last thing
Zeffirelli?
Yeah.
Is he still even around?
Yeah, he's still doing his thing,
God, that's bizarre.
The guy's so talented. Maybe he's just too old. I don't know.
Anyway, he's got to be old.
Anyway, I do recommend this. It's a solid Blu-ray. It's not dazzling, and there aren't many extras. Just a little featurette and a trailer. But it's worth it.
You know what's not worth it? The Nightmare on Elm Street reboot.
Oh, God.
You love this movie. This is the greatest movie ever. This was directed by Samuel Bayer, who's a kind of a
This is another Platinum Dunes deal.
Another Platinum Dunes deal. What they do is they take an old 80s horror franchise and they light it through a blast furnace. So it's all like, everybody's all just golden hued and sweaty and dirty and they all die.
Yeah.
Jackie Earle Haley, you know what? Can't get better casting than that. I mean, he's the guy.
He is.
But in the end, this is just another one of those films.
I think this Blu-ray is very, very nicely done. It's very sharp. It's a really good transfer. The the blacks in it are really, really, really solid. The only problem is, exactly what you said, it's the movie. Jackie Earle Haley is perfectly cast. He is terrific. But the rest of the movie feels too slick. It feels too calculated. It doesn't sort of have that energy that the original had. It's unfortunate. But there it is.
There's a film I can sort of recommend, which was kind of interesting, called Holy Rollers. Now, Holy Rollers...
Oh, it's got that guy from the Facebook movie.
That's true. Jesse Eisenberg, who plays Mark Zuckerberg in Social Network, plays the lead role here. He lives in a Hasidic community in New York, and he's recruited by this Israeli drug smuggler to, kind of take quote unquote medicine.
Ah, yes, yeah. the old medicine.
Exactly. So he goes overseas to get some quote unquote medicine and then bring it back to the States for sale. And he gets caught up in this whole world, and it's really not that bad. I kind of like this movie. It's got a terrific performance by Justin Bartha, who plays Jesse Eisenberg's brother. I really liked him in it, and you know what? It's really not bad. The special features include a commentary by Jesse Eisenberg, so he obviously believes in it too. There's 5 deleted scenes it doesn't need, and so there you go. So Holy Rollers, it's a small film, indie film. Kevin Ash is the director, and it's a nice little small film. Holy Rollers, I would kind of recommend that, especially if you're of the Jewish faith.
I remember when you saw it, and I'm sorry I never got around to it.
Yeah.
Good.
Now, did you get around to the Roger Corman cult classic double feature of
So awesome.
The Warrior and the Sorceress
And Barbarian Queen.
I remember Barbarian Queen.
Yeah, The Warrior and the Sorceress is stupid. You know what's funny is that they're calling these Roger Corman's cult classic double features. No, the cult classics are the ones that are not double features. The double features are the ones that they're just throwaway. The Warrior and the Sorceress.
No, but that one starred Lana Clarkson.
Yeah, no, but The Warrior and the Sorceress. Look at whose body that is in the poster. Here, I just wanted to
bump the mic.
Look at the body on the poster. Now, what actor do you think that is?
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No, look at the names. Huh? Look at the names. Look at the names. No, look at the names. Down below. Credit bed.
Is it raining? David Carradine?
That ain't David Carradine's body.
That was never David Carradine's body.
It's just too funny. Anyway, they have these Frank Frazetta style artwork on here, which was all inspired, obviously, by Conan and the movie.
No, but look who stars in Barbarian Queen.
Yeah, I know. Barbarian Queen is actually kind of a fun movie.
Lana Clarkson.
Yep.
Now, Lana Clarkson murdered Phil
Yes.
Spector, convicted of
Yep.
convicted of second-degree murder in relation to the death.
You betcha.
Crazy, right?
I know. Isn't that weird? Wow. Freaky. But anyway, despite that, it's actually kind of a fun Conan-y knockoff. The Warrior and the Sorceress is crap. But the only way you can actually get Barbarian Queen is on this double feature. So there it is.
Yeah, but Wade, Dolph Lundgren.
Oh my gosh. It's the goofiest artwork I have ever seen on a DVD. It really is.
The Killing Machine is Dolph Lundgren's straight-to-video thing? What?
It's not. No. It is Dolph Lundgren is the Killing Machine.
You know it.
I urge everyone to go online and Google The Killing Machine and Dolph Lundgren and take a look at the artwork for this thing. You will laugh. It is hysterical.
Well, here he directs also, which he's done in the past, and
We've interviewed him, actually.
we have interviewed him.
He's really smart. I mean, he's got a master's degree in physics or something, and
Well, in this one, he doesn't really matter. He's
the Killing Machine.
He's
Give me the DVD.
he's a KGB assassin, and he kills
He's got a
people.
gun and he blows crap up.
What?
He doesn't. He's not a bad director. I got to say. I just wish and he was very good in The Expendables. I really enjoyed him. But I wish he'd do some better movies on his own. I got a couple of classics here. You're going to wonder, why am I talking about Bob Hope and the Lemon Drop Kid in the same breath that I talk about Predators? I don't know, just because I feel like it. Bob Hope is the Lemon Drop Kid. This is just such a hysterical, funny, wonderful movie. It also happens to have Fred Mertz from I Love Lucy in it.
Oh,
William Frawley.
William Frawley.
Not playing Fred Mertz, of course. No, Lemon Drop Kid is a crazy, wacky, nutty Bob Hope comedy set in the West. And you know what? It's really, really funny. And I'm glad they're starting to release all these Bob Hope movies all over again through Shout Factory, because the transfers from their previous releases, which were mostly public domain houses, were junk. And this is actually really, really fun. Tor Johnson's in this, by the way, too.
Tor Johnson?
Yeah, from Plan 9.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. That
Yeah,
guy's
I
funny.
know. It's hysterical. Big, bald, freaky, scary guy. No, this is really, really fun. It's an awful lot of fun. All those Bob Hope movies are pretty much the same, but you get to see him in drag. You get to see him do his eye rolling and all the junk that goes along with it. Any Bob Hope movie, go for it. Lemon Drop Kid, Shout Factory. Thank you for bringing it to us. Predators. We have here on Blu-ray, and Mark and I actually liked Predators, and for some reason it didn't really perform at the box office, despite the fact that it's actually decent, and Robert Rodriguez, as a producer this time, didn't allow it to get bungled up. I think it's faithful to the Predators saga and the environment and the universe they created for the Predators. You now get a caste system of Predators. It's a hunting reserve on this planet where they bring people from other parts of the universe, and in this case, a bunch of people from Earth who have to. It's like stranded on a desert island, and now they have to figure out how to turn the tables on the Predators. It's good, and Adrian Brody's good, and I don't know why this didn't do well, but anyway, you got a ton of extra material on here. The commentary with Robert Rodriguez and the film's director Nimrod Antal is okay. It's fine, not brilliant. It's sort of boilerplate. The rest of this is all just featurette stuff, but it's good. Mark.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I did like Predators. I was surprised. You know what? It's a great concept. It's basically the most dangerous game.
Yeah.
But it's good.
Comes with a digital copy too.
And you have a multi-culty cast.
Yeah, it's true.
And they all get picked off by predators. And you know what? I like. You know what? I like Predator. I like Predator 2 with Danny Glover.
I did too with the Rastafarians.
And I like this one. I do. I admit it. I'm all about it.
Yeah.
And there's 60 minutes of bonus material. It's a good looking transfer. There's a bunch of featurettes on it, deleted scenes, good stuff. There's BD Live, which you know how much Wade and I love BD Live.
Oh, we love BD Live.
The best.
Oh, it's so cool.
So useful. It really
Absolutely.
helps me understand the film.
Absolutely. A movie called Agora, not to be confused with the city here in California that's just over the hill from us, Agora. This is Agora. This thing was like $70 or $80 million to make, and it like tanked. Newmarket, which hasn't released a movie in 5 years, picked it up for the U.S., released it, and made about 18 cents. And it's sad because it's directed by Alejandro Amenabar, who was a great director. Directed The Sea Inside, which won an Oscar. Directed The Others with Tom Cruise, produced by Tom Cruise with Nicole Kidman in it. Directed the original Open Your Eyes, which was remade as Vanilla Sky. I mean, he's a great, great Spanish director. So I don't know why nobody wanted to get behind. Well, I kind of know why they didn't get behind this. Agora is about a particular point in time in the early Christian era when in the city of Alexandria there was an enormous amount of religious, shall we say, friction. And it is a point in time when a lot of historical events kind of coincided, and it all leads up to the burning of the Library of Alexandria. And the film, it's not necessarily anti-religious, but it's certainly anti-religious hypocrisy. And it's rooted in historical figures. I mean, Rachel Weisz plays the great Hypatia, who was one of the, great philosopher mathematicians of the era. And
if you're a great philosopher and mathematician of that era,
yeah.
Basically, you figured out that 2 + 2 is 4.
That's not true.
I mean, honestly.
That's not true. There's a lot of great thinking in here. These people are smarter than we are. They had DVDs. They had better than Blu-ray.
Really?
We lost all that. When the Alexandria Library burned, all that information was lost.
Yes, but you know where that information is stored?
Google.
In that Star Trek episode where they go to that big library with that old man.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
Mr. Atos.
Yes.
Yes.
That's where all the information is.
There's a lot of Atoses, though. Remember those?
Yes.
It's like they just keep coming and coming, the little bald guy.
I referenced that just out of my own
That's
brain.
pretty cool. And aren't you glad that we're such nerds? It's pathetic. Anyway, there's a commentary by Amenabar that's very, very good, and a documentary here called Journey to Alexandria, which is excellent, and some other stuff on the storyboards and production design that really gives you a sense of what an amazingly huge, cool epic this is. And I just don't. I wish it had done better. I really do. But check it out. You'll learn a little bit about history at the same time. A little melodramatic in spots, but really incredible. A nice dramatization of historical events.
Well, because he's a terrific director.
Mark, tell us about how great an actor Josh Brolin is.
Josh Brolin is fine. I mean, Josh Brolin is all that will escape unscathed from the misbegotten Jonah Hex.
Mm-hmm.
And Jonah Hex went through a really tortured pre-production period where they lost their director. The directors, this team called Neville, Dean, and Taylor, they wound up with the screenwriting credit, and Jimmy Hayward, who, of course, directed Horton Hears a Who. So when you think of the guy to direct Jonah Hex, why not the guy who directed Horton Hears a Who?
Of course.
I see that.
I do, too.
And this is based on a DC comic, and it is just absolutely terrible. It just feels conceptualized and reconceptualized and rewritten, and eventually all they got out of this thing was 82 minutes. That's the best they could do.
Ow.
And people think, if it's 82 minutes, that doesn't mean automatically that it's bad. Well, you know what? If you're Jonah Hex, yes, it does.
Yeah, it does.
This is supposed to be a big summer movie where people go see it. It's Josh Brolin, and it's a big DC movie. And if it's so bad that all they can get is 82 minutes of usable material,
wow,
that's bad. And Megan Fox is in it for some reason. John Malkovich is fine. Chews it up. We all love John Malkovich. The best thing about Red. There's some additional scenes. That's the only special feature in this crapped out DVD. Not even a Blu-ray. And look. When you subtract the end credits and like the slow motion shots of Joan on his horse,
22 minutes.
We're left with like 75 minutes of material. I mean, that's just bad.
That's like an old Charlie Chan movie.
Exactly.
We got this thing, Mirrors 2. Oh, it's unrated. And they have lenticular, testicular, matricular packaging on the DVD. That's a giveaway to me now that the movie is junk usually. I didn't see Mirrors 1. At least if I did, I don't remember it. And we see a lot of movies, but some guy named Victor Garcia did this. And this is one of those attempts at doing a horror franchise based around an idea that's just not very horrific. The idea being that the mirror in question is like this weird portal. And
next.
Yeah, I know.
Nobody cares about this movie. Let's go on to the next.
They're just not that scary. They're not that scary. It's this whole through the looking glass. It's stay away from the mirror.
Move it on.
It's Blu-ray and DVD. I can't wrap my head around it. The RoboCop trilogy, Mark. How excited are we about this?
Really excited. Here's the
because RoboCop 3 is such a good movie.
You know what? When you see, I'm kind of torn. Look, there's RoboCop 1, RoboCop 2, which was just dreadful, including one of the worst scores ever written.
Yeah.
And RoboCop 3, at which point it was just this weird, like, kind of canon, crapped out sequel. RoboCop obviously is a justifiable modern sci-fi classic. It is a great film. The issue is
by the
this.
time we get to RoboCop 3, we don't have Peter Weller anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Robert Burke took over.
This guy, Robert Burke.
It was terrible.
The problem is that, RoboCop is a Criterion.
Yeah.
And if you have the Criterion RoboCop, you're basically done. Do you really need RoboCop on... unless you got to have RoboCop on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
The Blu-ray quality, which maybe you do. Really, that's what you're buying.
Make sure you always get the uncut RoboCop, the one that originally got the NC-17 or the X at the time. I think it was X at the time.
Actually, wait. Here's the thing.
No, it was NC-17.
Here's the thing. I want you to vamp for time.
Yeah, why?
Because I don't remember if I have the RoboCop Criterion. If I have the RoboCop Criterion, you can have that RoboCop Blu-ray.
Okay.
Let me see. Just to talk for about 30
I'll vamp.
seconds.
I can vamp. I'm vamping while Mark goes away. Anyway, RoboCop, seriously, get the uncut version if you get it at all, because it was rated X or NC-17, whichever it was at the time, only for one very simple reason. Because the scene where the X-9000 or whatever the thing is called blows away the guy accidentally during a demonstration, that went on interminably. He was like shooting at him, unleashing bullets, bullet after bullet after bullet, round after round for like a minute and a half solid. And I guess the ratings board was horrified, as they often are, by everything. But we don't care. We're going to move on.
Wait, stop the process.
Yes, what?
Okay.
Yes. That's the uncut.
I have Criterion unrated director's cut.
That's it.
By the way, unopened.
Oh.
I never opened it.
Nice.
Very bizarre. Special features in the Criterion version include the unrated director's cut, audio commentary by Paul Verhoeven, film to storyboard comparison, storyboards, illustrated essay, trailer, and teaser trailers. It's funny, this is actually not the best Criterion in terms of extras. However, it is the uncut version, and it is Criterion.
Right.
So I would rather have this than have the Blu-ray.
Okay.
Although I will say this, because the extras on the Criterion are not that great, if MGM scared up a bunch of great extras for this thing, maybe that would outweigh the Criterion, only because it's Blu-ray and the Criterion extras are not that great. However, there are no extras on these trilogy ones.
No, there's squat here.
No, they're squat. So really, if you've got yourself the Criterion RoboCop director's cut, unrated cut, keep that. Forget the Blu-ray.
Gamera double feature. Mill Creek has released a Gamera double feature. Now, Mill Creek doesn't release most of these Gamera things. Mill Creek usually does public domain stuff, and the bulk of the Gamera titles usually come out from Shout Factory, and we've gotten a lot of great Gamera titles from Shout Factory, but this is one from Mill Creek. It is Gamera, Guardian of the Universe, and Gamera 2, Attack of the Legion, and not as nicely transferred as normally what you get on Shout Factory. Certainly some compromises have been made here, but all the Gamera DVD Blu-rays, all the Gamera Blu-rays, the one thing I can say about all of them, and Roger Ebert is quoted as giving this 3 out of 4 stars. I find that very hard to believe. But anyway, the thing I love about it is you can always tell it's latex. You okay there, Mark? People are hearing your chair squeak around.
Oh, are they really?
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't know people were hearing it.
They are hearing it. Well, at least they will be when this goes up. Anyway, Gamera, you can always tell it's latex. Not reptilian skin, latex.
Wait, okay. We're taking a break in the action.
Yes.
To remind people about the giveaway. Go.
Oh, giveaway. Send us an email to gods@digigods.com with the word Predators. Predators.
I have
spelled
mine.
Correctly. Yes. In the subject line, and then in the body of the email, please include your name and address, and we will do a drawing for a DVD, not a Blu-ray, but a DVD of Predators next week. And Fox is being wonderful to us. We really appreciate their helping us out with our giveaways.
Yep.
Loving our fans. Splice, Mark. It's all about Splice.
It's the spliciest. This is another strange little genre film that Adrian Brody did. You know what? This film is not that bad.
It really isn't. I was surprised. I was shocked. I didn't see it in the theaters. Checked out on the Blu-ray. And I love Sarah Polley, too. Sarah Polley just always works for me.
Yep. Movie not that bad.
Not at all. It just I don't think they knew how to market this thing. This is
that was a bomb. That movie opened very disappointingly.
I know. And they had a really kind of an interesting campaign, but I don't know that it was a campaign that made people interested to see the movie. I think they got people who were maybe looking for a horror film, but this is more than a horror film.
It's more.
Explain it, Mark.
Splice is about these genetic engineers, and they specialize in splicing together, DNA from animals and create crazy hybrids and whatnot. So now they decide to use human DNA and create this crazy revolutionary weird, strange dude thing.
Creature.
And so the result is this girl thing called Dren.
Yeah.
And of course, this what I liked about it is that there's sort of this thing where like Dren could kind of be their child.
Yeah.
So there's this weird man, woman, mother, father, husband, wife.
The relationships are kind of creepy.
Clive Owen, Sarah Polley, and this creature. That's the stuff I thought worked. When it becomes like kind of a scary thing, it becomes fairly typical.
This guy who co-wrote, co-conceived, and directed, Vincenzo Natali, I think he's got a future. I'd like to see him get a chance at doing something a little bit different. Guillermo del Toro was nice enough to throw his name on this. It has a del Toro kind of feel, but I'll bet he did nothing but put his name on it.
By the way, can I remind you of something?
Sure.
Dren is nerd spelled backwards.
Oh, look at that. Aren't you clever? Just in time for Halloween is the Rocky Horror Picture Show 35th Anniversary Limited Edition DVD book. This is like one of those deals that Warner Brothers usually does routinely, and now it's being copied by Fox. It's not as good as what Warner Brothers does.
What is that? It's the Blu-ray.
Yeah, it's the Blu-ray. Yeah. It's with Tim Curry looking unbelievably young in makeup on the cover. It's just anyway. I don't know that I really want to see this movie in Blu-ray.
Oh, come on!
It kind of you want to see this scratchy in a theater and right, don't you?
No,
no.
Look, come on! It's got a lot of great stuff on it.
It's got tons of great stuff, but I mean the image quality. Do you really want that pristine? Don't you want to see it like on a dirty screen at midnight?
It's still look. We've talked about digital noise reduction and how sometimes you get these films that are old or maybe purposely shot to be grainy, but for some reason, because people expect Blu-rays to be clean, that they put all this digital noise reduction on it to make it artificially clean.
Yes.
And movies are getting a little bit some of these distributors are getting a little bit smarter about keeping grain where it's necessary.
Correct.
And here, there's a little bit of grain in here.
Yeah.
I want this. You don't want this. I want this.
You can have it then.
Yay.
Happy Halloween.
Thank you.
Romeo plus Juliet. Now that's Romeo with the plus symbol Juliet, because that's the Baz Luhrmann way. Baz has this thing. I never really got onto this. I like my Baz, but I don't know that I ever really got on the Romeo and Juliet bandwagon. Mark?
I did not.
Yeah, I didn't.
I'm sort of on the Baz bandwagon.
Well, we got two Blu-rays here. We got Romeo plus Juliet and Moulin Rouge. And Moulin Rouge is the one that got all just the heaps of Oscar nominations and all the acclaim. And it's grown on me over the years. I hate some of the scenes in it. I think they're cut too quickly. And I think some of it's just way too wacky, funny. And John Leguizamo's just odd casting. And it doesn't quite work. But I like enough of it. I like the reconceptualization of all those pop songs. So I kind of got with it, and I'm getting more and more with it. But Romeo and Juliet still doesn't quite work for me. DiCaprio and Claire Danes, I guess it's a completely reconceptualized Romeo and Juliet. And there's an interesting picture-in-picture thing here with an audio commentary that kind of usually I think that's a little bit too much flash and sizzle, but they really kind of do make their case for why the film should be taken more seriously. And
okay, look,
I'm not convinced, but I'm a little bit further along.
Okay, I'll trade you this for that.
Predators for Moulin Rouge?
Yes, I had the Moulin Rouge. I have the Moulin Rouge DVD.
Well, okay then.
So now I would have the Moulin Rouge Blu-ray.
Okay then.
But I would be willing to trade you, unless you want to give me all of them, which is fine too.
Well, I'll do that trade.
Okay.
Moulin Rouge. We're horse trading right here, folks.
See, this is how the sausage is made right here.
That's it.
Wade gets them, and then if I'm lucky, I get a couple.
Yeah. Moulin. Well, you can have Jonah Hex if you want.
Give me Jonah Hex.
Yeah, all right. Moulin Rouge also has the picture-in-picture with audio commentary feature, which is, I don't think, as interesting as Romeo and Juliet, just because I was waiting for them to make their case to me in Romeo and Juliet. But it's also got a new featurette, A Creative Adventure, which was nice. Nothing particularly new there, but a lot of great stuff on here. Interesting little movie. I'm liking it more and more.
I will take this, and you will take that.
There we go.
Yay.
There you go. And then lastly, as we wrap up our splurge of movies,
oh my God! If you don't buy this 65 times, you are not a fan of the Digigods.
This is why Blu-ray exists. 3 discs, folks. 3 discs. Apocalypse Now. Thank you. Full Disclosure Edition. The Full Disclosure Edition.
Good.
It is. It's great. It's really amazing. This is just mind-boggling. This is so good. Here's what you get, folks. On disc 1, you get Apocalypse Now and Apocalypse Now Redux,
which, by the way, I'm not a fan of. I'm saying it now.
I don't like it either, actually. But it's there at least, so that you can argue about it. And all that has the commentary with Francis Ford Coppola, which is perfectly fine and perfectly good. Disc 2 has a whole bunch of really, really cool extras. There's new video interviews with Francis Ford Coppola and John Milius and Martin Sheen. A new thing called Fred Rouge Casting Apocalypse, where Fred Rouge, the producer, talks about their screen tests, like original screen tests that you won't believe. And a 1938 radio reading by Orson Welles of Heart of Darkness, which is pretty creepy. And then there's a video interview of Francis Coppola with Roger Ebert, which you see in top to bottom, and it's really, really good. And a bunch of other interesting features there as well. But Disc 3, this is what makes this worthwhile. Finally, we get Hearts of Darkness along with the movies. Hearts of Darkness it's there. It is beautiful. The ultimate documentary about the making of this insane film.
Folks,
it's great.
Buy it. The end.
It's great. It's all over.
The end.
Yeah.
Buy it.
Yeah. Done.
Why are you not buying it? Why have you not bought it yet?
Yeah, exactly.
It needs to be bought.
So bravo, Lionsgate. And the transfer, let's talk about the transfer.
Looks great.
Amazing.
Looks great.
Stunning.
Yep.
Staggering. And really, it's not quite Thin Red Line great, but it's pretty close. So Lionsgate, kudos.
You know what? It's presented in 2-3-5-1.
Oh,
right.
Beautiful.
And by the way, very first time, and that's its original theatrical aspect ratio.
Yeah.
And it's never been presented that way on DVD.
Very true.
But now on Blu-ray, you get it in 2-3-5, and the colors they're just full, and the blacks are really kind of dark, and it's so good.
Absolutely fabulous.
It's been transferred in 4K, by the way.
I know.
It's so good.
So good.
By the way, why are you listening to this and not buying it?
That's because they have to hear about CSI Miami and why and all the wonderful things you're going to say about this show.
God. David Caruso. He's just the worst.
Does that mean you don't want to talk about it?
No. This 8th season of CSI Miami.
It's so much better than the first 7 seasons.
Oh, of course.
This is the one you want. If you skip those first 7 seasons, CSI Miami 8th season is the one you want to buy.
There is a bunch of special features, which I was kind of surprised to see, considering, by the time most shows get to an 8th season, they just crap out these DVDs.
They do. They don't put anything
on them.
But,
here's the thing is that you got a bunch of, interesting special episodes this season, characters leaving, whatnot, and so forth. And there's also some audio commentaries. So it's not a bad DVD set if you do like the show. They did a good job considering that you're 8 seasons down the line, but I just don't really care about the show.
Yeah. The first season of The Real L Word. The L Word was that Showtime lesbian show, right? And The Real L Word is like reality lesbians. I'm not really gonna object to either one, frankly. Mark?
What, lesbians?
Yeah.
I'm on board.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm good to go.
Special features here include the National Gay and Lesbian Winter Party with Pam Grier. Mark? If I said to you, the National Gay and Lesbian Winter Party with Pam Grier, just let your imagination run wild.
Yeah, but Pam Grier to me is not a sex object.
Not anymore?
I don't know if she ever was.
Really?
Sure, she's super cool.
Where were you in the 70s?
No, she's super cool. But it wasn't like a sex object super cool.
My goodness. We have to talk. Anyway, there's a bunch of other stuff on here that's just really kind of fluff, but that's the one. That's the great one. I don't know if this show is that great. To be in all seriousness, it feels a little bit like it's stretching to take advantage of the whole Jersey Shore Real Housewives thing.
Shore
But you know what I'm
in
saying.
Front of me.
But you know what I'm saying. It's stretching to try and take advantage of that whole aspect of reality television, which every year is morphing into something slightly more lascivious and psychotic. I don't even know who Snooki is. I try my best not to pay attention.
I finally saw a picture of her. I really didn't know anything about her, and she's pretty ugly. She seems really short and pudgy.
Well, I think that's the appeal.
That's you short and pudgy?
Yeah, I guess.
Tales from the Dark Side kind of had its moment. It was one of those anthology shows. It's mostly horror. And, I liked some of these back in the day. We're talking like the 80s. This final season is 87, 88, 20 episodes, 3 discs. And there's also, actually, this is a good DVD because there's a bonus episode.
Oh.
That nobody ever saw, ever. And that's pretty cool. So anyway, Tales from the Dark Side is a Twilight Zone. Nothing ever will be. Is it Outer Limits? Not quite. Is it even, Creep Show? No, it is not. Oh, I mean, Tales from the Crypt? Not really.
No.
I think Tales from the Dark Side is the worst of the anthology shows, but that said, put it this way, whenever there's 20 of anything, 1 or 2 will be okay.
Yeah.
And there you have Tales from the Dark Side, the final season.
And speaking of final seasons, we also have the final season of The Tudors, which, wound up being a surprisingly decent show. It's a perfect balance between stupid television soap opera and something a little bit more British and sophisticated. And even though Jonathan Rhys-Meyers is nowhere near the size and the heft and the gravitas of King Henry VIII in any way whatsoever, he still pulls it off as the young King Henry VIII and all of the machinations in his very scandalous life. You know what? I really, really think this is a cool series. I'm sorry to see it go, but there it is. It's the final season of The Tudors also from Showtime. And extras, not much. There are 2 episodes of the United States of Terra and this via eBridge stuff that I couldn't figure out it's not even worth talking about. But anyway. But United States of Terra, there's an interesting show, huh?
I guess. If you like Toni Collette.
I love Toni Collette.
So do I.
But I don't like What's-Her-Face who wrote...
Diablo Cody?
Yeah. Marcus Welby, M.D., starring the father of Jonah Hex.
Wake up your parents. Here comes the only DVD they care about this week.
Look, it's Jonah Hex's dad. This is a week for anybody named Brolin. James Brolin, of course, was the young Stephen Kiley, who was sort of the reason that anybody was younger or female would watch this show, which was sort of one of the original medical shows on television. And it's not ER, I'll tell you that right now. Not by any stretch. Robert Young, perfectly fine actor. I grew up knowing him as a spokesman for all kinds of junk on television, like, toilet paper, who knows whatever it was he was pitching. Hi, I'm Robert Young for fill in the blank. But Mark, do you remember where the practice was on Marcus Welby?
Oh, was it Martin Luther King General Junior Hospital?
It was in Santa Monica.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I lived in Santa Monica for 15 years.
No, you did. This show ran for 7 years. Wow, amazing. Anyway, there's nothing else on here. It's just 24 episodes from Season 2 of Marcus Welby, and you get to see James Brolin, who's actually not as good of an actor as his son.
His son
except
being...
in Jonah Hex.
Although, you know what, I'll tell you, you liked him in... you liked James Brolin in the Woody Allen film. I just wasn't there.
Oh, I just don't know. I don't know what the problem is with you. I just don't
because
understand.
there's nothing soft about him. Even a guy who yes. Oh God.
Awesome, huh?
TV flashbacks. This is from the good people at Shout Factory. Wade and I always like.
No, it's not Shout Factory. It's not Shout Factory.
It says.
No.
Oh, Shout.
It's Mill Creek.
Where
Mill Creek. Mill Creek's releasing these.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Because it says Shout on it, too.
Well, Shout originally released them, and I think Shout is involved in... I think Shout is sub-licensing them now to Mill Creek. They originally came out as Shout Factory releases. That's what I find interesting. Now they're being kind of sub-licensed to Mill Creek.
Well, what's funny is that when I picked these up, and I saw it said Shout Factory on it, I thought to myself, God, this is a pretty shoddy-looking DVD set for Shout Factory.
Yeah, no.
And it turns out that it's Mill Creek, so now I get it. Punky Brewster, 10 episodes of Punky Brewster. This is called Turn Your World Around, and 10 very special episodes of Blossom.
Oh, so special.
Including the pilot episode.
Whatever happened to her, that Mia Bialik girl?
I don't know. Anyway, Blossom was a Emmy-nominated show, sitcom.
You know what would make the perfect trilogy of these?
What?
Small Wonder. Blossom,
The
Punky
worst.
Brewster, and Small Wonder.
These shows are terrible.
You know, we met Punky Brewster. Do you remember?
We did?
Yes, we did.
Who played Punky Brewster again? What's her name?
Soleil Moon Frye.
Oh, yeah. When did we meet her?
You don't remember, do you?
No.
It was. Oh, we're going back in time now. You remember when we were we were working on the set of a certain film that a friend of ours had written, and you were an extra, and I was wrangling extras. Do you remember this?
Is this where we were? Is this in the bar?
Yes. You don't remember this, do you? Let me refresh you. We're working on the last call. Okay.
Right.
And this is where Mark came up with the idea of the rampaging extra, which was really quite a wonderful idea.
Awesome.
And there was another film. This was at Lacey Street Studios. And there was another film that was shooting at the Lacey Street, and Lacey Street Studios is like, this is low-rent movie making, folks. I mean, this is like the production office that they make available to you if you're renting like stage space to make your movie. One phone line. How many film productions need one phone line or can make do with one phone line?
Very small ones.
It's just unbelievable. So, no, there was another film that was shooting there adjacent, and she was in it post-breast reduction. She was playing a DA or something.
I didn't know. What? I have no idea. How did you know she was there?
Because the crews, because Lacey Street is about the size of a dime. And because you can actually hear the noise from the adjacent soundstage through the paper-thin walls that separate them. It's the most pathetic excuse for a studio on the planet. Yes, you walk 7 feet and you're on the other set.
I don't remember talking about that, thinking about that.
Make a wrong turn and suddenly you're in someone else's movie.
I think you are thinking of another movie called Last Call.
I'm not. Can't believe you didn't experience the Soleil Moon Fryness there. It was some low budget.
I was sitting next to you
TV.
for like no, I was sitting next to Dave Barnblatt, right,
yes,
for half the movie.
Yeah,
so I
was just sitting in a booth in the bar, just saying, "Wouldn't it be funny if we just threw this table up and just started rampaging the set? How long would it take?"
I came up with this idea called the rampaging extra, which is that let's say you're an extra on a movie, right? And you're really bored. You know, movie making is so boring. And let's say you're an extra, you're sitting in a bar, and you decide you're fed up. You know, you're really bored. You got nothing to do, and you're getting really angry. What if you just decided to just get up, bum rush the camera, tip it over, hit the director in the face, knee the DP in the groin, just completely go nuts? How long do you think it would take before somebody tackled you?
Awesome.
If you became the rampaging extra and just decided to just go ape-ass all over the set, how long would it take? You got to figure... Yeah. You've got at least between 7 to 10 seconds before people say, "Oh my God, there's something happening. I have to do something about this." And then they gotta tackle you.
Yeah.
So in that, let's say 15 seconds, you can probably destroy the camera. You can probably mildly injure most of the key crew members.
Yeah.
And maybe take out a supporting actor.
Yep.
And then they'll tackle you.
Probably true.
But so that's the theory of the rampaging extra.
We're gonna. It's brilliant. I love it. We're gonna wrap up a little bit here. By the way, Mark wanted to do that when we saw The Right Stuff some years ago, and they had a panel afterwards, and Ed Harris was there, and Mark had this fantasy about running down to the front of the Egyptian theater and just sucker punching Ed Harris and trying to run out and see how long it would take.
It was like Ed Harris, DP Caleb Deschanel, and like 5 other people, and they're in the front of the stage and they're answering questions. And I thought, what if all of a sudden this guy just runs down to the front of the stage and starts just hitting people in the face? He just hits Ed Harris in the face. He hits Caleb Deschanel in the face. He hits Barbara Hershey in the face. How long do you think it would take before somebody said, "Oh my God, somebody's hitting"? Somebody is
by the third person, you'd be tackled. But if you just clock Ed Harris and then turn around and run back up the stairs, I'll bet you could probably almost get to the top of the stairs.
I bet people would be so stunned that they'd probably let you get to the top of the stairs, and then they'd say,
tackle him.
Somebody just hit Ed Harris in the face. Tackle him.
Oh, BBC America showed the series Being Human Season 2 on Blu-ray. All of this werewolf and vampire stuff started with Underworld, at least in the movies. And Underworld gave it a whole kind of S&M gothic look. And then, of course, we went up with Twilight. And the British give us Being Human, which is basically Twilight done British television style. And I think it's... I'm not a fan of the Twilight movies, but this is perfectly acceptable. Being Human has a certain cool BBC sheen to it. And some interesting extras, but it also has some Easter eggs, which I didn't bother trying to find, but allegedly it does. And then we also have, I want to get to the really good stuff here, we've got The Mentalist with Simon Baker, who actually is Australian or something. You wouldn't know it from watching the show, but I've seen interviews. I know these things. A bunch of interesting special features here. One is called Mentalism, a Subliminal Art, which is almost gives me a better appreciation for the show. It's actually very, very interesting. You kind of learn more about like a real mentalist named Luc Germain, and he sort of becomes like an advisor to the film, and you get a sense of just how authentic the show really is, thanks to him kind of giving them the insights that he does. And then you have a little thing here with the executive producer, Chris Long, and some unaired scenes which are not that impressive. But this is the second season of The Mentalist, the second season with Simon Baker. Actually, I'm learning to appreciate the show more. There's a lot of that this week. I'm not learning to appreciate The Ghost Whisperer. Thank goodness this is the final season. Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Breast Whisperer.
Jennifer Love Hewitt.
The Breast Whisperer.
She's adorable. She's wonderful. But this show has it never should have been. It really shouldn't have. It's just silly. But it's got special features that I'm sure fans will absolutely love, like celebrating 100. Yay, the 100th episode. Please go away. But here, Mark, you know what I want to talk about? I want to spend a little bit of time today talking about this.
Oh my God.
This.
Finally, this is your.
I saved the best for last, baby. I saved the best for last. The Bionic Woman, Season 1. Not the new Bionic Woman, not that thing from a couple of years ago that was, like Buffy, except she had gears in her knees. No. This is the original Bionic Woman, which oddly enough is now coming out on DVD before The $6 Million Man, which is due out soon as well, but in a complete collection set. From Time Life.
That is true. Now, I'm worried. The Time Life DVD collections are a little low rent.
They really are. They don't
really
put a lot into
hoping that
them.
Maybe Columbia would come out with it, or
I know,
somebody a little better than Time Life.
Well, this is the Lindsay Wagner. I'll tell you, Jamie Summers. I loved all those shows at the time, and this is the first season of The Bionic Woman, which I was just elated with when it finally aired. It's absolutely terrific. You get some really cool episodes here, especially in the bonus features. You get some crossover episodes from The $6 Million Man, which there were a number of them, actually. And there were some shows that sort of started on his, like the Bigfoot shows and the Fembot shows. And there were some really interesting crossover bits. So I'm glad they include those here in the bonus features so I don't have to wait for those seasons to come. A gag reel, which was so awesome. So awesome seeing a gag reel for a show from like 35 years ago. And a featurette and some photo galleries and audio commentaries, which are great because these people are still around. So please get this show out and get more audio commentaries going because I love them. Love them. And new interview on here with Lindsay Wagner that is just to die for. So you will, it's the Bionic Woman. Come on, get it. It rules. It's the greatest show. If you're like in your 20s and you've never seen any of these episodes, come on. Mark, there's a whole generation out there that does not know what we mean when we do things slowly and go ch-ch-ch-ch-ch-ch.
Yeah, you know what? Right. Instead of that, they you know what they get? The Sopranos. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's not much of a competition.
Oh, man.
But you know what? I will say this: Wade's love for the Bionic Woman is genuine.
It is.
It really. You talk about this.
Oh, I just love the Bionic Woman. Honestly, Lindsay Wagner. That was all. I was all about Lindsay Wagner.
Really, she wasn't pretty to me. I mean, she was pretty, but it wasn't. Again, it was like Pam Grier, not sex pretty.
The best. Loved it. Steve Austin had good taste.
Now the Bionic dog. Oh yeah.
Maximilian. You know why he was named Maximilian?
Oh my God.
Because he cost $1 million.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you can email us again at
giveaway
gods@digigods.com. Put Predators in the subject. Put your name and address in the body. Get it to us on Wednesday or Thursday. That is Wednesday or Thursday, the 20th or 21st, and we'll do a drawing next week and give away 3 copies of Predators on DVD. Otherwise, catch up with us on our Facebook page or at stupidformovies.com. Watch us on Thursday evenings, 8 o'clock Pacific time. Or go to youtube.com/stupidformovies. And we're all over the place. Just catch us somewhere. And we will see you next week.